Now we have a cross. You see, Vasha, ask and ye shall receive.
Big deal. A demon's cross. Sosietkos don't shun crosses either, I presume.
But on the other hand, we could do without this rattle box chort.
Why you calling a rattle box?
Hush, Proshka. Don't be angry, Grandpa. He may be of use to us yet.
All right, we'll see if it works out. The only thing left to do is visit the spinner. Vasilisa and I are going to see the spinner. There's nothing for you to do there, Kolya. Understand?
Sure did.
And one more thing. Don't say anything about the banya or the bride. The spinner can't stand demons, though she looks like one herself. Got it?
What should I say to get the belt?
Good question, Vasilisa. Keep your ears open when you speak to her. Remember, do not mention demons. She does not like them. And you might as well disregard the fact that we needed the belt for a changeling girl. Now, if you show you are of knowledge, that would be good indeed. If she doesn't like you, or should you let anything slip, the cost will be more than we can handle. Got it?
Who is the spinner?
A woman of sorts. Her name is Kapitalina Ivanna, but everyone calls her the spinner behind her back. She's quite knowledgeable. You don't want to mess with her. That's why I am coming with you. Don't go running your mouth. Speak nothing of the book. Got it?
Understood, Grandpa. It's time we were on our way.
Yes, it's better go to her at night. I've arranged a cart for us.
Do you have any Kupala salve left?
If I only knew. We could fly, but feet will do. And another thing. There's this rich fellow, Petrov is his name. He asked me to check on his field. Says demons are ruining his crops. It's not far from Pintek. It so happens.
Well, what do you want? Can't you see? I'm all cozy here on the sleeping bench. I'm sleepy. Ask what you wanted. I need to sleep. Got tired.
What kind of demon are you, Ikota?
That's how fiends are called. Ikota. If they possess people, that is. You know that. Wish to learn more? Any demon can become Ikota. Climb up on someone, got it, that's it. People will call you Ikota. Bet you can do it better than me.
Wanted to learn more about you. What were you doing before Akulina?
Alright, I'll tell you. It's a long story, mind you. I've told you before, I used to be a Sosietka. For quite some time I've lived there. The Transfiguration Church was built how long ago? Must be over 200 years. I am wise and old, you see. So you'd better heed my advices if you know what's good for you.
Never seen cats any wiser, that's true.
Good then.
Maybe you'll stop swooping your fur all over the Izba in 200 years, eh?
What? What about it? None of my concern. I have to look after the household anyway. You could have fixed the bench yourself, by the way. It creaks as hell.
Oh, I'll show you, you damn short.
Wait, Grandpa. He will do a better job. Won't you, Proshka?
Sure, I bet one alright.
What with the church, then?
So about it. I've stayed as Sosietka there from the time it was built.
You were Sosietka over there in church? Or were you from some other place?
In the church. I remember that well. But what was there before that building? Damn it. can't quite remember. Let's talk a bit later. Maybe my memory will return.
Why did you transform into a cat?
Cats kill people. For protection, that is why. Well, what you looking at? Scared, eh?
Yeah, right. Cats give no quarter. It is good that our father Tsar's army keeps them in check.
So you don't believe me then? Let me tell you one story.
Let's go. We'll talk later.
Well, Vasha, now I can say I've seen things. Cannon fire. A redoute, that's one thing. The devil himself, that's a whole different level. Still, I think that war is scarier. Much scarier than any chort. I still can't forget it.
You've seen too few chorts, Kolya.
Perhaps that's true, but that's beside the point. I'm not going to put up with it. I know how to get over this. I have an idea.
What are you thinking about?
I'm thinking of stepping right into the fire, if only something turned up.
You could die, you know.
No. I'm not talking about something like a campfire. And I'm not planning on dying either. It's not the devil I have to overcome. Man's greatest enemy is himself. That's what I think.
What happened down there, in the war?
Bah, Vasya, you wouldn't be interested. This war was thought up by the devil and none other. Not by the Holy Spirit, that's for sure. I don't even want to remember. The thoughts alone make my hair white.
Is that why you started smoking?
Well, look at you. They don't call you knowers without reason. Well, yes. I'll start with something small, I think. To tell you the truth, I'm terrified even when I strike sparks with flint.
Once, my uncle was working on a mill and could hear a grinding stone not working as it should. It rotated for a bit, stopped, and then rotated again. He came closer and saw a big black cat sitting on it, and the grinding stone was rotating as if something was hindering it. My uncle went to grab the cat, but it slipped to the other side. My uncle tried to grab it a second time, but again, it managed to dodge him. Then, all of a sudden, the cat disappeared with a crack. as if it had fallen through the floor, and the grindstone started working properly again. The next day, my uncle died. Those possessed by Akota were called Akotniks. At one time, there were so many people suffering from this strange malady that some scientists thought Akota to be hereditary. Women succumbed to Akota more frequently, and it sometimes passed from one housewife to another, developing into a kind of mass hysteria. Old believers treated Akota rather violently, without the aid of magic or prayer. Women suffering from Akota were starved, beaten with wooden rods, baited with dogs and trained bears, drenched with ice water, and left out to freeze. Those who survived returned to their homes and never suffered from Akota again.
You catch a whiff of the disgustingly sweet smell of rot. Cold fear enters your soul when you guess what might be the source of the smell. A human body lies nestled in the grass. It is already unrecognizable from decay. You see an old wooden cross upon its breast. You dig a small grave and push the dead man inside. You read a prayer and continue your journey. Despite the late hour, sounds of celebration are coming from the village. It turns out that a festive dinner has dragged on and turned into a non-stop festival. You notice the worried host, who looks like he can't wait to say goodbye to his guests. You offer to disperse the festival for the host. His distrust of you vanishes when, after a couple of your zagavers, furious winds send the suddenly worried guests scurrying home. The host rewards you with some of the dishes from a banquet table. You meet a girl walking in the direction of Panteg. In her hands, she clutches a spindle that is emanating dark power. Old Yegor smirks, another of the spinner's victims. You call out to the peasant girl and convince her to get rid of the cursed spindle. Surprised, the girl follows your advice. You freeze with horror. A dead girl is dangling from a spruce tree's gnarled branch. You can't move. This strange fruit sways back and forth with a creak in the cold wind. She died recently. As soon as you draw a circle, two demons burst from the skin of the hanged girl. It seems that demons have reached the body before you. The closer you are to the house of the spinner, the more ominous the woods get. The decaying trunks of pines and spruces tower over the path like silent guardians. Your blood runs cold every other moment. You feel that the border between worlds is very thin in this part of the forest.
There are bright strings of some kind on the path. There are many different skulls and charms.
You approach the skull hanging by the door. Suddenly, the bony head starts shaking. A burning coal that serves as an eye socket stops you in your tracks.
Oh, joy! And Noah, are we? Fine, my eye isn't what it used to be. Who's that old-timer over there? I think I know him.
Will you let me pass to see the spinner?
With pleasure, but I'm ordered to test Noah. If it were up to me, I wouldn't be hanging around here in the first place. Anyway, we'll do it just like in the fairy tales. I'll give you 3 riddles. Solve any one of them, and I'll let you through. Solve none, or refuse to answer, I'll take one of your eyes. I'm short one, you see.
I'd say that's the least of your problems.
Well, are you up to it?
I want to look around first. Quite a grim place. It's places like this that give witches a bad reputation.
So, how do you like this Isba? Ours is quite a bit cozier, isn't it? Go speak to that skull. He's a doorman of sorts here. That's the spinner for you, always thinking up something crazy.
What do you mean, speak to the skull?
I mean that it used to be a Khaldun. The regular folks aren't likely to chat with it. We, knowers, are used to this sort of thing. It's something new the spinner thought up. Skulls such as these used to hang on the trees around here like effigies of sorts. This one is used as a kind of test. It would be best if you passed the test. This woman knows me, you see, but she's not familiar with you.
What's with the yarn on the paths?
You see it, do you? Ordinary folk don't. The yarn binds some poor Christians to the spinner. It's a strong and dark sorcery. You had better go and speak to the doorman.
What else should I know about the spinner?
Hush, child. These skulls report every little detail to that witch. Keep your lips sealed.
Every night, there was a sound of wailing and hammering all around her Isba. Chorts themselves can't be seen by ordinary men, but I found a secret passage in some hymn book that said you needed to look through a wedding ring to see them. One time I was walking along and I saw the witch walking in front of me, flapping and swinging her hands around with a pester on her back. So I looked through my ring, and what did I see? Bugs and flies of all colours swarming out of the pester and stinging her. As we were walking by a herd, the witch grabbed a bunch of bugs from the air and threw them toward the herd. The chorts flew at the cows, stung them all over, and returned back to the pester. They had had their fill. The word for witch, vedma, takes its root from the word vedat, to know, to have some degree of knowledge. A vedma is traditionally a woman versed in knowing and performing magic. They were often called vekshitsa, from veksha, squirrel. It is a phonetic distortion of the word veshitsa, or vedajushaya, one who knows. According to Cherdin mythological texts, such a woman could turn into a squirrel, allowing her to enter a house through the chimney and steal an unborn child from an expectant mother. According to the same texts, witches often gathered atop a mountain to celebrate by roasting children over a fire. Witches performed black magic, cast the evil eye upon people and livestock, stole milk from cows' udders, and shared knowledge of love spells and love potions. Love magic is akin to black magic. They could be the wives of Koldans and draw magic from their husbands. In Cherdin or Yezd, they were believed to appear as regular women and were seldom depicted as the ugly hags that featured prominently in Europe. As knowers, they were able to communicate with chorts.
Ready to solve some riddles?
Wait, answer my questions first.
I have no answers for you. I only ask questions. Well, are you up to it?
Have it your way. Ask your riddles.
Listen to the first one, girl. There is a hamlet, folks packed together tight. Come morning the cock sings, yet no man stands upright.
There's a hamlet, folks packed in tight. Come morning the cock crows, yet no man stands upright. A cemetery. Proper dead men do not rise from the graves.
Correct. You solved the riddle. Only that man don't rise in the morning. Believe me, I know. You may pass, or you may try to guess another.
Let's riddle some more.
Listen to the second riddle. Lame chicks sing along, dry wood they haul. Wound up in a ditch, can't move an inch.
Lame chicks sing along, dry wood they haul. Wound up in a ditch, can't move an inch. The priests are singing for the dead. It's a funeral procession.
Correct! You guessed it. I remember those songs. You'll hear them too soon enough. You may pass, or you may try to guess another.
Let's riddle some more.
Steal a quine, tale of twine.
Steal a quine, tale of twine. Well, that's easy. I'm here to see the spinner after all. It's a needle and a thread.
Correct. You guessed it. Look at you. You should know your riddles. That makes you a powerful witch. Well, you may pass. We can riddle some more. No eyes involved, just like that, for curiosity's sake.
Let's riddle some more.
Listen to the fourth riddle. Walks with no legs, sleeves with no arms, mouth with no speech.
Walks with no legs, sleeves with no arms, mouth with no speech. A shadow walks with no legs behind a man.
Huh, right you are. I can riddle you another one.
Let me crack one more.
The ship broke to bits over meadows and deeps, over cities and streets. No popes and no dukes can bring it anew. No money, no books.
The ship fell to bits over meadows and deeps, over cities and streets. No popes and no dukes can bring it anew. No money, no books. The sky broke and scattered all the stars.
Correct. You are a clever one, girl. And a knower at that. You might be powerful enough. Listen, you might be even more knowledgeable than the spinner. Why don't you take me along? I can look after your isba and whatnot. I can make myself useful, you know.
So be it. Your eye shines quite bright. I could use you for a lantern. All right then, I'm off to see the spinner.
Evening, Kapitalina Ivanovna.
Evening to you too, Yegor Yevlampevich.
The voice of the spinner is quiet and smooth, like the rustling of pages in the Black Book.
Brought you my little orphan. Became a knower recently, this one.
You sure did. But what are you thinking, poking around in my business? You took my spindle. It was doing my bidding, you know. I let it slide on account of you not knowing and all.
God bless, Kapitalina Ivanovna.
I see you're a fine girl and a smart one. Yes, I heard your replies to the riddles. To be a knower is not all demonic affairs. So why are you here? Not just to check up on an old woman, I should think.
Saw a dead girl in Villas of Woods.
That was Marfa, I would guess. Didn't have money for a love potion. Was quite desperate, I gather. Well, it serves her right.
We met your doorman. What of that skull?
Some lousy Khaldun. And Yerit Nick, God rest his soul. Hasn't served his time yet, so he helps me around the house.
I wanted to ask you about this yarn you have here and around the house.
This witchery is not yet for you, Vasilisa. In time you'll learn, perhaps. It's not the same as sending fiends for milk, mind you.
I need a woven belt. A powerful one, Kapitalina Ivanovna.
Yes, I know you came for a belt. Only why would I give one to you?
Old Yegor warned me that I should watch my mouth around the spinner. How should I answer her? You're known all across the Uyezd for weaving the best belts, Kapitalina Ivanovna.
So I am. You aren't here without reason. I can indeed make good belts. You've become a knower, so I'll give you an enchanted belt. So what are you going to do with your chorts?
How am I supposed to answer that? I really don't know what to do with them. Well, make them suffer, of course. Give them some back-breaking work.
That's how you should treat them. Torment those filthy creatures. Only knowers can do some good. Well, turns out you're a good knower, girl. I'll give you a belt as a gift. Here, it's a good one. Later, I'll put you in touch with a pupil of mine. A fine man. Maybe it'll work out for the two of you,
Thank you for the belt, Kapitalina Ivanovna.
Well, thank you, Kapitalina. See you again sometime.
See you soon. Farewell.